attachment specialist, and it is very good to talk with all of you again. Welcome back to the channel for those of you who are returning, and welcome to the channel for the first time for those of you who may not have been here before. I got chat open right down here, so I'm going to be looking at you guys down here when I'm talking. Today is live Q&A. Bring me your challenges. This could be insight versus integrity and growth and integration. It could be avoidance through growth or avoidance away from growth. What are your challenges? What are your relationship issues? Bring them in here. Let's talk about them here today. You guys are, well, we're in a hard season right now. I want to be very clear. We are in one of the most difficult seasons of the year for mental health, for relationships, and for challenges. Many people who are coming to me for the first time, my coaching clients, they're coming in exhausted and stressed and feeling hopeless and saying, Adam, I don't know if we're even fixable. You tell us if we are, but I'm really losing hope. This is the season where people feel exhausted. We call it attachment fatigue because you're hypervigilant, you're scanning, you're overperforming, your boundaries aren't what they could be, or you feel like you have to endlessly cater to other people or they're going to betray you or abandon you. And it's just exhausting. That is the season we're in right now, is where that gets worse and worse and worse. If that's you and you're feeling it, number one, I want you to understand that's actually very common during this time of year. And number two, there's a way out of it. You can build better relationships where you're not having that feeling anymore. This is not the time of year that causes problems necessarily. It's the time of year where the problems blow up so you can't ignore them anymore. That's usually what we're facing. So today, what questions do you have for me? What challenges are you facing? What concerns are you having about integrating your actual experiences and skills versus just endlessly having insight? We've talked about the skills and experiences model. Your brain does not care about podcasts, books, anything that you study and learn logically. It only cares about the experiences you've had with proven, documented data that shows you that something is going to work or not. Am I safe or not? Am I loved or not? Can I have conversations or not? What is it? So share that with me here today, you guys. I'm waiting for everyone to pop in. Give me some information over on the chat. What questions do you have? And I know you have questions. I told you yesterday, bring your questions, write them down and bring them into me here today. So where you guys at? Let me know what you're experiencing. I also want to make sure you understand the New Year's sale is just about over. Anybody who still needs it, click to adamlanesmith.com, click any of the New Year's tabs, they're bright orange, or the text, get in there and get your bundles up to 40% off with up to 5 free gifts. I do not want you guys to miss that. That sale is just about gone. So last warning, kind of like last call sort of feeling, right? The attachment decoder course, the attachment boot camp, how to love an avoidant man, how to build a secure marriage, and the secure parenting course from chaos to calm. All of those are also up for up to 40% off in that special bundle, so don't miss them. Now, as you're building secure attachment, number one, chaos feels normal and calm feels abnormal and confusing and frightening for most people. Even if you have anxious attachment or avoidant attachment, when everything is going peaceful, you start to get nervous and worried and confused, and you say, what's wrong? Something's off. No one's on fire. No one's upset. No one's screaming. There hasn't been a fight in too long. Something's building. Where is it? Where are the problems? I know they're here. Why don't I see them? Quite often, we also start asking, how bad is it going to hurt when that next one hits? What if I'm not on top of my game? What if I'm not awake enough for it? What if I'm too relaxed? This is why peace begins to feel so unsafe for us. When we have insecure attachment, we ease into a relationship. What if I'm not ready for the next hit when it comes? That's what keeps us hyper vigilant and alert and scared. That's what stops us from being able to actually relax into a great conversation or a great relationship and a great bond, a great experience together. We are waiting for the next shoe to drop. So, guys, I'm going to say it again. Drop your questions in chat. This is live Q&A. Can't believe no one's piling in with their questions. I'm not seeing anything pop in. Hit me with your questions and let's talk about it. But if you're struggling during this time of year, if things are calm and you're afraid and you're more afraid than you've ever been, or if this time of year is bringing out the challenges you thought you could get through as a couple, but now you just can't bear even one more minute of it. I have a lot of couples coming in early in our coaching process with together, second session, third session, and saying, I just don't think I can do this anymore. And the session before, they were saying like, hey, no, this is good. I got this. We're okay. We're settled. This was maybe back in December. And now they're coming in mid-January going, I just don't think I can do this anymore. I'm so tired. I don't want to leave, but I just don't have the energy. I don't have the capacity anymore. I'm so worn down, and I don't think I can give you what you need. And I think this is the end of our relationship. Even if they previous were like, no, I think we're good. We got this. We got it taken care of. This is that rundown fatigue time of season and time of year. Your stress fatigue and seasonal fatigue is hitting at the same time as relational fatigue and attachment fatigue. It's all one big mess. We call that your allostatic load. Allostatic load is your overall massive load of stress and exhaustion and work and labor. All of that is your allostatic load that you're dealing with. It is just too much. Most people are just overtaxed. They're not even necessarily overworked. It's the brain being so worn out from endless calculating and guessing and hoping and vigilance and people pleasing and running to the next task instead of being able to actually relax and feel safe and at peace with yourself. It is unfortunately all too common for that to happen. So, no questions in chat so far. I'm very curious about what's going on there. Let me know what's happening there, guys. What questions might you have about relationships or attachment? I am here to help. I'm I'm stunned that there aren't questions here today. Usually the chat is exploding with more questions than I could possibly answer. Have you all figured out your relationships completely? Does everybody feel so at peace that you have no more concerns whatsoever? I can't imagine that's the case. Maybe you guys are all working and you're secretly concerned about typing on the computer, but you're just playing it on headphones. That could be it too. But hit me with the questions you have, Q&A style here today. What challenges am I seeing people come in with right now? Well, one thing that I'm seeing this time of year is capacity issues. People have stopped doing the fun, enjoyable things that have given them energy and given them focus, even given their life meaning. They stopped them during December because it was just such an outrageous schedule. Or sometimes they stopped because their partner didn't want them to, or they were reallocating time, or their partner was suspicious and doesn't trust them and is making them pull in and say, no, spend all your time at home so I can watch you and know that you're not talking to someone inappropriately. There's so many different reasons that people pull in and contract, called contracting. You contract inward and pull in and feel nothing. And then you begin to be exhausted because you're not generating oxytocin with family and friends. It's just your one partner. You're trapped in there staring at them. If you're even generating oxytocin with them, you're not solving problems. The problems are mounting. So instead of building vasopressin with your partner, you're building a cortisol association against your partner. When I'm tired, you make it worse. I have a lot of people coming in right now where the man is exhausted and depleted from work and no personal time and no connection time for himself, no hobbies, no time with friends. And the woman is feeling overwhelmingly lonely and abandoned and wants more time, more time, more time, more time. And she's sharing all these concerns and criticisms. And he is run down and exhausted and keeps just hearing negative reports about how he feels like he's failing and he feels like she's miserable and she feels lonely and unappreciated. So he goes, I have nothing to give you. You obviously need more than I can give. It's just, I can't do this. I'm really sorry. And she, rightly so, goes, what the heck? Like, what are you talking about? All I want is some basic time together as a couple. I want you to listen to me. I want you to ask me questions. I want you to look like a person who's in love. And she's not wrong. These are very simple, basic things and reasonable expectations, but the man is not able to meet them because he's so completely depleted that he has nothing even to give to himself. Like he's just crashed. So this is a dorsal vagal shutdown state that's more long-term that we would call depression, by the way, as your dorsal vagal system shutting down. You are depleted, you are exhausted, and your system's saying, I won't let you keep pushing us. We are too depleted. I am tuning down so that you can't perform anymore. Your system begins to crash. This is also, again, what we call a depressive state. Quite often, your system is depressed, going down, suppressed. The man is in this state and can't get enough time to connect to himself and rebuild his own serotonin, even dopamine systems at this point. Anything is so depleted that he has nothing to give her, but she's upset and sad and lonely because he's not investing time in her. It sounds counterintuitive to make him go spend time recharging himself first before he can recharge her. And many women don't like that answer because they say, I'm going to be neglected and abandoned. This is where many couples are stuck right now. Guys, if that's matching any relationship you've ever had before, drop me a yes in the chat and let me know that that's something you guys have experienced, because that's all too common, unfortunately, for most people. That is an exceedingly common process for most people. But drop me a yes in chat if you've ever been stuck in that dynamic. I am not seeing any questions popping up in the chat right now, so I'm waiting to see them pop in. Let me know what questions you also have, but let me know if that's been you guys in the past. Along with that entire process comes just utter exhaustion. And that's where most couples say, I don't want to split up, but I don't want to get a divorce, but I don't want to break up, but I don't want to end this, but. And that's often where the avoidant partner will begin talking about ending the relationship. Now, what's fascinating is the avoidant partner usually doesn't say, we're going to end this relationship. Not usually. They'll say something like, I don't think I can meet your needs. I'm concerned that this isn't going to work. Maybe it's a bad idea for me to be in a relationship right now. Maybe I'm just not right for you. Maybe we are just not the right couple. Maybe it's the wrong time for us to be trying this. Maybe we should just call it good before something bad happens. Maybe you should go find someone who can take care of you, right? This is where the avoidant partner begins trying to broach that conversation. What they're doing is usually, especially if they're ethical avoidant, trying to have a conversation about the dark reality that they're facing and the feeling of hopelessness and impossibility. What comes across to the anxiously attached person usually is, I'm giving up on us. I'm done. You're too much. Even the most basic things you're asking for, you don't deserve, and I'm not willing to do. That's what usually comes across. So the anxious person begins to panic and they start arguing. Well, what do you mean? This is the most basic thing. You can't do this basic thing for me? This is what humans need. You can't do this with me. You can't do this with anyone. How am I too much? Why are you giving up on me? Why are you? And they start panicking, which, of course, if the avoidant person is utterly spent and exhausted and has just begun to open up for the first time to have an honest conversation, is the perfect thing to do to them. It's actually the worst. But it's not the anxious person's fault because they don't know what to do. They're panicking because they feel so totally abandoned. They have no idea what to do. And all they can think is, I have to stop this disaster. You're not being rational. You don't understand. If we just do the basics, we can take care of each other. And they're not wrong either. Telling them, blindsiding them after you've been keeping it a secret that you're exhausted, but silently pulling away from them, which they feel, and then hitting them with, well, maybe this isn't going to work, with a deadpan, flat expression, with dead glazed eyes. That's also the worst thing you can do to your anxious partner. This is where avoidant and anxious people start really falling apart. I'm really confused. I'm not seeing any chat rolling in at all. I wonder what's going on there. Something's got to be happening. Well, I don't know. I'm not seeing any questions popping in of any kind. But I hope that you guys can hear me and that we're rolling forward. I'll keep going on this. If this is making sense to you guys, you got nothing to say, that's okay. I'm not seeing anything pop up. This is usually what leads to breakups during this season. The breakups at the end of August and September, which is like divorce season, that's a little bit different. That's usually anger and frustration and hurt and arguing and bitterness and the more anxious partner giving up and saying, I'm cooked and I'm done and I'm out. This season is where we see a lot of avoidant people start walking away from relationships, and some disorganized people, because they just feel so utterly depleted and broken down. Now, February into January, February, and March is kind of like death season for this period of time. It's just miserable, especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, I will say specifically, and it's wintertime right now. Heading into this season, people are just cold and stressed and miserable. Even if you live in Florida, you're still having this experience. Your neurobiology still recognizes this time of year. It's a thing. So your system just says, I am worn down. There's too many holidays, too much stress, too much work, too much money stuff, taxes. I'm failing you. I'm failing myself. I'm failing my family. I'm failing my friends. I'm failing at work. I'm just so overwhelmed. Please, somebody make this end. That's usually, well, February is a massive, I can't even say the word here, but February is a massive time for people to remove themselves from the general world permanently. And that's also, they're destroying relationships at the same time. I'm not saying this is purely seasonal. You should just white knuckle it, hold on, everything will be sunshine and rainbows come April. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that if you're stuck in this cycle right now, it is enormously common and very, very, very much made worse usually by the season that we're in. If you can learn some basic collaboration skills to start working together, one thing I'm working with most of my couples right now on is growing their capacity. I have a need. I wish I could meet that, but I don't have capacity right now. Okay, what can we do to grow your capacity to here so that you can then meet their need and they can grow to here so their capacity grows to give to you and your capacity goes like this and go back to you and it goes like this. How do we ladder our way up there? Right? How do we go up the staircase? If we can't take the elevator, how do we take the staircase step by step together? How do we grow each other's capacity as a couple? This builds oxytocin and vasopressin together as you get out of the pit. Right now, there is an energy pit and a capacity pit that people are stuck in. We have to grow up and out of that together as a couple. If you guys can be doing that right now, that's going to help tremendously. That's going to help the growth process. It's going to help your relationship. And for many of you, it will save a relationship that otherwise could be saved. You're just so stuck and exhausted. If that's the frustration that you're beginning to feel, and that frustration is a problem, and you're struggling in it, that right there is exactly what you need to be doing to try to grow out of that. Or what often will happen instead is you will just cook. You will cook and your brain will steam and burn out and be exhausted. And eventually one of you will say, I can't do this anymore. And you'll pull away, you'll stop talking, you'll stop communicating, you'll be hurt, you'll be frustrated, the fighting will blow up, and it will feel like evidence that you have to split up as a couple because it feels like there is no hope. I am not seeing anything. I wonder if my chat is glitched over on my side. It actually might be. Guys, if you are typing and I can't see it, I apologize. Chat might actually be glitched out. So I'm going to be spending today teaching you instead. If I close this, it'll close the whole live stream. So what I will do instead is just continue teaching. Make sure you drop information, send it to us. If you have really important questions, send them to support@adamlanesmith.com. Ask us what's going on, but I'm here to help. I will do another live stream next week with Q&A as well. So we'll take care of you guys there. Oh, I do have a masterclass coming, I believe, this Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time. That invite is going to be going out on my newsletter. If you guys are here for this information, another free masterclass is coming. Make sure you sign up for my newsletter on adamlanesmith.com. Go to the resources, click attachment newsletter. It's free. Sign up. You'll get invites and stuff for masterclasses. You'll get coupons before anyone else does. You get notified of sales. You get a ton of free information and help during the week, multiple emails. So if you're wanting to fix your attachment, I highly recommend adamlanesmith.com, resources, attachment newsletter, and come to my masterclass that I'm hosting this Friday afternoon. Now, with that, capacity. What things grow your capacity during this season? What I tell people to do is focus on generating serotonin. Calm your nervous system and generate serotonin. Those are the two biggest factors that I tell my clients right now. That sounds very scientific and clinical. Calming your nervous system means bringing your stress and cortisol levels down. That doesn't... A lot of people do that by coping with dopamine binges instead, which is what we're trying to prevent. Some dopamine is fine. Dopamine's not evil, but endless dopamine binging is what a lot of people are doing during this time, right? It's why people gain weight during this season. It's why people get in trouble during the season. A lot of things happen. The dopamine binges is not the answer. Managing your nervous system, especially through physical techniques, box breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, different exercises, managing your cortisol levels and nervous system to bring it down so that you can flip out of that dorsal vagal shutdown into your parasympathetic. In your parasympathetic state, you can actually generate more serotonin, especially in your gut through digestion, but through activities. Spending time with friends and having good conversations. This is a time to rekindle your friendships that might have gone dormant during November and December, during all the holidays and all the rush. Okay, rekindle friendships on purpose. You need it, and probably so do they. Engaging in hobbies and activities that you enjoy, again, especially not just dopamine binges, but go back to pickleball, go back to playing activities and doing painting and running and walking and sports and creative pursuits, reading, writing, things that take a little more energy to start, but then pay you back in the end, right? Dopamine is just quick fix, doesn't take much at all, and you get a quick hit that wears off fast. It's like a sugar rush. You want that serotonin where you cook a meal, you spend the time prepping and cooking a meal, you eat and enjoy the meal, right? That's serotonin. And that's also the serotonin process. It usually takes a little bit of effort to get in and start doing the activity, which is why people don't reach for it first. But as you generate more serotonin yourself, with family and friends, if you can, and also with partner, if you have them, the more you generate this, the more your system begins to rekindle and resurge, and the more capacity you'll begin to have to then invest properly into the relationship, to have the conversations, to resolve the issues, to do the repair, to have the talks you've been avoiding, to give your partner the love they've been needing, but you haven't been able to give to them, to spend time with them and actually relax in it and enjoy it instead of it feeling like one more chore you have to do. You have to be building that serotonin connection, but to do that, you have to come out of your dorsal vagal shutdown or your sympathetic nervous system, either one, stress or shutdown. Come out of that mode, calm in your system and your nervous system through physical techniques, and then prioritize serotonin. There are so many ways to prioritize and get serotonin socially, individually, in a relationship, everything. Start prioritizing that and then doing that as a couple during this season. Massively important. I'm having my couples do quite a bit of that. It generates that vasopressin as you do it successfully together and generates oxytocin as you feel loved and cared for and you're doing fun activities together. Oxytocin is great for that. Oxytocin and serotonin tend to go hand in hand quite often. They're generated by many of the same behaviors, especially if you're in a very calm, steady place where you're doing it. But coming out of the pit successfully together and noting that it's together, more vasopressin as you overcome the challenges and activities. So make sure that you're building those connections together. Be clear with your partner about what your capacity is right now during this season as well. Your partner might think you don't care. You might just be absolutely depleted and exhausted. I'm hearing a lot of people saying, I just think we should, I don't know if we should be together. I'm starting to think about divorce, right? And the other person says, you want a divorce? And those are two completely different things. I want a divorce is different from I am so fried and hopeless that I feel like there's no end to this pain. So my system is telling me to get a divorce. Those are two very different things, but it sounds the same to an anxiously attached partner, right? It sounds the same when it comes out. Asking clarifying questions and talking about your exhaustion, your fatigue, and your just overall capacity loss is really crucial during this process. If you can't have that conversation, now we're getting to a darker place. If you can't even sit down and have a talk with your partner about your exhaustion, about your capacity issue, about needing some connection time or time for yourself or time with friends. If your partner gets angry and hurt that you say, I need time with friends, and they say, but you aren't spending time with me. And if you're the partner feeling like that, like all my partner wants to do right now is go run away to be with their friends and go golfing and have fun and never wants to sit with me in the evenings or be with me. And if I make them sit with me, they are just so run down and miserable looking the whole time that they can't even connect with me. If you're that partner feeling that, it is so crucial to have a conversation about capacity. It is so enormously important to have a conversation about what is your capacity like lately? What does it look like from the outside? Here's what I'm seeing. Here's my capacity on the inside. Here's what I would need. Here's the level I'm at. Here's what I'd like to be. I would love to spend time with you, but I can't right now. I just can't. I have nothing left. Maybe you're going through some life experiences and challenges as well that are depleting your issues. Some people are going through a divorce and dating during that process. That is a heck of an experience to go through. Some people are rebuilding after a divorce. Some people are going through major life shifts, moving to a new city, or going through a medical challenge or chronic fatigue syndrome, things like that. Some people are going through job loss or job transition, or your job is insane right now. There's so many life circumstances that can also get in the way on top of season and partner and holiday and depletion. There's so many problems, you guys. I don't mean to sound like a downer. And this is not hopeless. There is so much hope. We live through this every single year. It is a constant recurring thing. The hope is being able to talk with your partner and they have compassion and they care enough to work with you to solve the problem. That is a really great metric if the person cares about you or not. If they just stomp their foot and say, I don't care how you feel, I've been lonely for too long and I demand, this is not going to be a relationship that's probably going to work. If a partner won't have a conversation, says, I don't want to talk about my capacity, I'm done, I'm not interested, probably not going to work. If they say, I can't have conversations because that's weak, I will figure it out alone, probably not going to work. That's not how a relationship works. We have to have transparent communication with also having compassion for the other human being. If you aren't capable of that on either side, the relationship is not balanced properly and will not work. Transparent communication with compassion for human beings. This is the absolute bare minimum to be able to make a relationship work. If you don't know how to do transparent communication, that's learnable. That is learnable. Even that part of the equation is learnable. But an absolute lack of human compassion for the other is not really resolvable. That's the black flag I look for in couples when I say this is not workable. You have zero interest in their pain or suffering. You are stomping your foot and demanding that they produce from nothing. They cannot. This will not work. Contempt for the other person and contempt for their needs, contempt for their pain, any of that, it's an indicator of death of the relationship. It's the number one indicator we look for. The Gottmans ran a study on that recently, and very, very clear research showing contempt is the number one predictor of divorce, because it is something you really can't work with, because the person has ceased to see you as a person. They are seeing you as an emotional vending machine. Sometimes men and women get to a place where they view the other person as an emotional vending machine and get angry and bitter and resentful and demanding when that person is so depleted they have nothing left. So they're just slamming their hand on the glass, screaming, "I put my dollar in, where's my candy bar?" And that's also happening in a lot of couples right now. So this is a time of season where you see if you can work together. This is a time of season where you see what someone's really about. But don't fool yourself and say, I shouldn't have the conversation because it's hopeless. No one will ever care about me, or that's weakness. This is also the time of the season the time of year where you find out what you are all about. If you are the kind of person who runs from your problems and abandons people when things are tense and when things matter most, this is the time of year to have the conversations about capacity, to rebuild them successfully as a team, to balance both of your needs, to have compassion and care for each other, to listen to each other, to build together, to prioritize the relationship. But that sometimes means prioritizing the individuals so they can have a relationship. Remember that two individuals in a relationship should unite and form a connection, but you can't smother one individual to please the other. That is not a thing that works, you guys. So do not do that during this time of year. Have those conversations, be realistic. And if you need help, me and my team are here to assist you. Remember that on adamlanesmith.com. We do have assessments right now up on special offer for the New Year sale. We have everything available to help you guys. I'm running people through the Attachment Breakthrough Intensive right now. We're going to be launching that again before too long. I don't want to spill anything yet, but we have an amazing resource coming for couples, especially who really need some intensive care going forward. But I have so many things to help you guys right now. If you need help right now, we can help, and we are here to help. Reach out to us and let us know what you need. Support at adamlanesmith.com is the best way, or go on our website, adamlanesmith.com, and send a contact through the website. That is also immensely helpful. We also monitor the comment sections here constantly. Again, chat's not working right now. I don't know why, and I wish it was, and I apologize to you guys who have been listening and probably dropping some amazing questions. I have no idea why chat is glitched out on my side, but what I want to hammer home is this. If you're exhausted during this season, it is not in your mind. It's not imaginary. I mean, it is a real thing that is most likely happening to you or your partner or the people you love in your life. Make sure you are talking about it. Make sure you're talking about exhaustion, capacity, and rebuilding capacity, refueling as individuals, with your family and friends, and in a partnership. How can you refuel each other? Maybe put the arguments on hold for a month or two. Maybe you pause those disagreements. Maybe you pause the growth that you're trying to do. Maybe you pause a couple things and focus on refueling you, and you take care of each other. But have those clear conversations so everybody knows what's going on. All right. Great conversation here today, you guys. Please take this information and apply it in your relationships. Come back and let me know how that happens. Okay. Thank you to all of you for being here. I don't know why chat isn't giving me your information on my side. I'm certain that it has not been silent for the entire time, but for me, it shows absolute zero. So apologies. I will come back Friday for a masterclass, 2 p.m. Make sure you're on my newsletter to get the invite for that. You're going to sign up for it, and we're going to have a great time there. I'll also be back next Tuesday and Wednesday for these live streams as per usual. Until then, take care of yourselves, check your capacity, rebuild your capacity, and talk to the people you love most about where your capacity is at and where theirs is at. And we will have a great experience come Friday at our masterclass. Take care until then.